They became famous before they were even old enough to understand it. Millions watched them grow up on television and in movies. But behind the fame, many of these child stars struggled with pressure, addiction, loneliness, and heartbreaking personal battles. Here are 30 child stars whose lives took a dark turn, and what really happened to them. Amanda Bynes. She became one of Nickelodeon's brightest young stars and quickly turned into a Hollywood favorite. But behind the scenes, personal struggles slowly began affecting both her life and career. After a series of shocking public incidents, she disappeared from Hollywood almost completely. Macaulay Culkin. He became one of the most famous child actors in the world after Home Alone. But growing up under non-stop fame and pressure deeply affected his personal life. For years, fans worried as he struggled with intense public scrutiny and personal battles. Lindsay Lohan. She was once considered Hollywood's perfect young superstar, but legal problems, addiction rumors, and constant media attention slowly damaged her career. Her dramatic downfall became one of Hollywood's most talked about tragedies. Dustin Diamond. He became beloved as Screech on Saved by the Bell. But after the show ended, financial struggles and controversy followed him for years. His heartbreaking death in 2021 devastated longtime fans. Dana Plato. She became a household name through different strokes. But after losing fame at a young age, addiction and personal struggles took over her life. Her tragic death became one of Hollywood's saddest child star stories. Corey Haim. He became a massive teen idol during the 1980s and starred in several hit movies. But behind the fame, addiction, and emotional struggles slowly destroyed his career. His tragic death shocked fans around the world. Gary Coleman. He became one of television's most recognizable child stars through different strokes. But financial problems and health struggles followed him throughout adulthood. His later years were filled with hardship and sadness. Drew Barrymore. She became famous at an incredibly young age after E.T., but growing up in Hollywood exposed her to addiction and dangerous situations very early in life. Thankfully, she later rebuilt both her career and personal life. Jake Lloyd. He became globally recognized after starring in Star Wars, but intense criticism and media pressure deeply affected him while he was still a child. Years later, his personal struggles shocked longtime fans. Jeanette McCurdy. She became famous through Nickelodeon and gained millions of young fans. But behind the scenes, she struggled with emotional trauma and pressure from childhood fame. Her later revelations surprised many viewers who grew up watching her. Corey Feldman. He became one of the most recognizable child actors of the 1980s through hit films and television appearances. But behind the scenes, addiction and painful experiences in Hollywood affected him for many years. He later exposed the darker side of child stardom that shocked many fans. Jodie Sweetin. She grew up in front of millions while starring on Full House. But after the show ended, addiction nearly destroyed her life behind the scenes. Thankfully, she later rebuilt both her personal life and acting career. Orlando Brown. He became a Disney Channel favorite at a very young age. But years later, troubling public behavior and legal issues shocked longtime fans. His dramatic struggles became difficult for many viewers to watch. Edward Furlong. He became famous worldwide after starring in Terminator 2. But addiction and repeated legal problems slowly destroyed his Hollywood career. Fans were saddened watching his dramatic decline over the years. Misha Barton. She became a global sensation almost overnight through the OC. But sudden fame brought enormous pressure and non-stop media attention. Over time, personal struggles began affecting both her life and career. Todd Bridges. He became famous through the sitcom Different Strokes. But after childhood fame faded, addiction and legal troubles nearly ruined his future. His life later became a story of survival and recovery. Mara Wilson. She became beloved through family classics like Matilda and Mrs. Doubtfire. But losing her mother at a young age made Hollywood emotionally painful for her. She eventually stepped away from acting almost completely. Jeremy Jackson. He became famous through Baywatch while still very young, but addiction and legal problems later overshadowed his entire career. Fans were shocked watching his dramatic downfall over the years. Jonathan Taylor Thomas. He became one of the biggest teen heartthrobs of the 1990s. But at the height of his fame, he suddenly walked away from Hollywood completely. Fans still wonder why he disappeared so quickly from the spotlight. Haley Joel Osment. He became one of the most respected child actors of his generation after The Sixth Sense. But years of fame and pressure eventually affected his public image and career. His Hollywood success slowed dramatically compared to his early years. Tatum O'Neal. She became the youngest competitive Oscar winner in history at just 10 years old. But addiction and painful family struggles affected her for decades afterward. Her life after childhood fame became deeply complicated and emotional. Lark Voorhees. She became famous through the hit sitcom Saved by the Bell. But later, health struggles and personal difficulties changed her life dramatically. Fans were saddened watching her disappear from mainstream television. Anna Chlumsky. She became famous through the emotional film My Girl. But the pressure of early fame caused her to step away from Hollywood for years. She later returned after rebuilding her confidence outside the spotlight. Jamie Lynn Spears. She became one of Nickelodeon's biggest young stars during the 2000s, but her unexpected pregnancy at a young age completely changed her career path. Her sudden disappearance from television shocked fans at the time. Raven-Simonet. She became one of Disney's biggest stars and a household name for young audiences. But years of growing up under non-stop fame brought enormous pressure behind the scenes. She later spoke openly about the emotional toll of child stardom. Britney Spears. She became one of the world's biggest pop stars while still incredibly young, but years of pressure, media obsession, and personal struggles eventually led to public breakdowns. Her story became one of the most heartbreaking celebrity cases in modern history. Demi Lovato. She became famous through Disney and quickly built a massive fan base. But behind the scenes, addiction and mental health struggles nearly destroyed her life. Her journey later became one of survival, recovery, and honesty. Miley Cyrus. She became a global superstar through Disney while still a teenager, but the pressure to escape her child star image created years of controversy and criticism. Her dramatic transformation shocked audiences around the world. Bonnie Franklin. She became beloved through classic television success at a young age. But after fame faded, her later years became much quieter and more isolated than fans realized. Her story reflected how quickly Hollywood can move on from former stars. Miko Hughes. He became known for emotional performances in major Hollywood films as a child. But as he grew older, acting opportunities slowly disappeared from the spotlight. Like many former child stars, fame faded much faster than expected. For many child stars, fame brought success and admiration. But behind the cameras, the pressure of growing up in Hollywood often came with painful consequences. Which story affected you the most? Let us know in the comments. And stay tuned for more untold Hollywood stories.